The week has been a long one, but we thank God who has taken us through to this day. It is a very good evening to you who is watching us right here on Church of Uganda Family TV. And I'm glad to inform you that you are watching My Story. My Story, a program that is fully packed to inspire you, to encourage you, to give you a reason to walk the journey of life with joy, with a reason to thank God for your life and to live the purpose of that life. Edrine Mukalazi is my name, and we are delighted to have the one special guest. He's an insurer, but he bore a vision to start up a choir, which choir sings and no one else will respond when they sing. Of course, there are only good vibes. Now he's the chairperson or the chairman of the Gospel Elite Crescendo choir, which is one of those best choirs ever. And he's going to tell us the journey of his life from where he was born. When did he get this vision? Why did he even choose that? Can he sing? Is he a musician? Is he a writer? Does he have a background in music? All and more is what you're going to expect from the story of the one, Mr. Ssenabulya Keeya Ronald. You're most welcome, sir, on this story.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you this evening.
Pleasure being with you.
Kindly greet our viewers who are watching this.
Good evening, viewers of Family TV. Nice being here.
And it is nice having you and interacting with you in this particular show. We are excitedly waiting to hear from you.
Too.
Well, we want to get to the life of Ssenabulya Keeya Ronald. Where was he born? Where does your story begin from?
Oh my. I'm born of Mityana district.
Okay.
That is Bulera sub-county.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was born.
And now I know we come from the same area.
Really? That is exciting too. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was born from there. And I had my primary education from there. That is Buyaga Primary School. Then after...
How many were you at home? Or how many are you?
Here we are 11 in number.
Okay.
But 12 our siblings passed on some time back. And this year we lost our elder brother, the late David Kalyango, also passed on. So right now we are 8 in number.
So we are still continuing. You are still telling us you go to Buyaga Primary School.
That's where I had
How old were you when you started school?
7 years, I remember. You know, it was funny those years. Like joining P1, you had to be 7 years and above.
Why?
I never attended nursery section. For your information, we had no nursery section there.
Okay.
So you could just leave home, go straight away to P1.
Hey. What about this?
And I remember I was taken there when I was 6 years. But they just asked, I went with my sister for registration. They told her, next year. He's still a younger boy. So they took me when I was 7 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you start a new life at Buyaga. Is Buyaga close to home or you had to walk quite a distance?
No, we had to walk quite a distance because it is about 3 to 4 kilometers. We'd walk from Senda up to Buyaga Primary School, like 4 kilometers. Yeah.
Was this really something you enjoyed doing daily?
Yes, at the beginning I enjoyed it, by the way, because I'd seen my elder sisters and brothers like waking up every day in the morning, like they take tea, like they go to school, they could leave us home, they come back in the evening. So like I was, eager to see what happens at school. So I enjoyed it, by the way.
Okay.
And we could go like about 4 of us, even with my elder sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about the life at Buyaga.
Buyaga, by the way, was a very nice school. And by then, it was the most cleanest, were performing school in the whole of the Mubende district, because by then we had the Greater Mubende. Before dividing it into Kasanda, Mitiana, Chivoga, we had the Greater Mubende, but Buyaga almost was number 1 or number 2, as in the performance and like in everything.
Okay.
So we enjoyed it.
Okay. Are there any memories you can't really forget while at Buyaga?
Really? Actually, some people wonder, like when they see me like singing with a gospel light Crescendo, but it started all the way from Buyaga. We had a school choir, and I joined the school choir while I was in P3.
What attracted you to join this school choir?
One, I had a talent in dancing. I had a talent, and I was very good. So I could join the school choir. By that age.
Classical dances or the traditional dances?
Traditional dances.
Okay.
Chiganda dances.
Okay.
Oh my God. I was raw.
We need to have a session for dancing.
I was good, and I enjoyed it, by the way.
Okay.
We had nice teachers, and some of them, by the way, they are still there. I happened to sometimes pass by there and I say hi to them. They're still there, some of them. Mrs. Nsubuga, Elizabeth, she's still there. Yeah.
So,
we enjoyed that primary section, really. We did enjoy it. Yeah.
Are there any challenges before you leave Buyaga that you encountered while at Buyaga that you say, okay, all was well apart from this?
Apart from a long
general
distance,
primary.
By the way, long distance, but it wasn't a challenge because by then we were still young. We enjoyed like moving together like a group of 10, 20 back home. But the challenge was in school fees. My dad passed on when I was in P2. So we grew up with our grandfather and mother, the late George Mwanji and Katharina, Nakaiza. So we had challenges regarding school fees, requirements, something like that. But our grandfather was really a hard-working man. During the holidays, we could go into the coffee plantations. We could work like, morning up to around 2 during the holidays.
Okay.
It was tough. So it was kind of struggling. Life wasn't that easy, given that background. Maybe if the dad was still there, maybe it wouldn't have been as hard as it was. Because he was working with Uganda ladies by then, and he passed on at that age. So we struggled, and that helped us a lot.
So by the time you complete your primary at Buyaga, what were your anticipations for secondary school?
Actually, that was my first time to come to Kampala.
For secondary?
For secondary.
Like
I had not visited Kampala before, for your information.
This is funny, but was it in your dreams coming to Kampala for secondary?
Oh yeah, because like I've told you, all our elder sisters and brothers, some were in secondary schools in Kampala. So after primary, we are coming to Kampala, even before the passing on of our dad. That was
the trend. Okay.
So even as we grew, knowing that after P7,
I go to Kampala.
We are going
so
to
this
Kampala
was another motivation to study.
High education, exactly. And it happened after P7, then we joined the Kampala.
Okay. Kampala, which school now?
We joined in a Crescendo Senior School, Crescendo Senior Secondary School.
Okay.
It was just there, adjacent to Hotel Equatorial, where there is that building now. I don't know whether it is Postal Bank.
Yeah.
That's the building which had Nakasero Secondary School. Then later it was shifted toward Kampala, but then for A-level I went back to Mitianeses.
We want to get now to the experience. Dream has come true. It is now you in Kampala. So your sisters are no longer telling you stories about Kampala. It is you. What was your first experience as you step into Kampala?
It was hard as well. Okay. Joining Kampala, studying with the pupils who had studied from Kampala, and you were coming so many kilometers away from Kampala, deep in the villages there. English, first of all, was a problem by then. It was a challenge. It was a very big challenge. You could reach at school, after classes, just find a corner to stand there and watch, while others like are conversing like
in English.
In English. It was hard by them.
So you just sit at a distance and watch them.
Exactly. It took us like at least the first term.
Okay.
In senior one, before getting like used to the environment.
Were you in boarding or you were commuting?
I wasn't in boarding. We were staying at Kasubi, but you could flew still from Kasubi up to Nakasero.
Kasubi at whose home?
We had a home there.
Oh.
We had a home there.
Okay.
Our father had a house there.
Oh. Now we want to get a shade of Kampala then. Because someone who has been to the present day Kampala may think this was the Kampala then when you came. How was the Kampala that you had in imagination? Were your imaginations ruined? All what you expected is what you saw when you stepped into Kampala?
Basically, I could not get a clear imagination of Kampala.
While still in Bulela?
Exactly, while I was still there. All I knew that Kampala is a city, a nice city. But I could not imagine, because I had not visited Kampala before. But when I came, of course, it wasn't like far away from what I had thought of. Yes. And since we had our sisters who were in Kampala before, like they could tell you, Kampala, they could teach us how to cross the road. They could say, okay, come here. When you are coming from this side, you cross. When you reach the middle of the road, you stop. Then you look to this side, look to this side. So that you could take us through.
Those were days before the borders. These days with borders.
But when you go to Kampala, cars are very many. Make sure you don't just cross. So we could line up. We are three of us. We could line up here. So they take you back. When you move, you reach the middle of the road, you stop. You look this side and this side. Then you don't see, when you see like there is no car that is coming, that's when you continue. So we came something regarding crossing the road, something like that, but we had never experienced it.
Okay.
Yes.
Now life at Nakasero, the 4 years you were there, how was it basically and generally when you got used eventually to the environment?
To the environment, still, we had a challenge of transport. For sure, we could just foot from Kasubi to Nakasero every day.
And that is quite some long distance.
And by then, we had 2 sessions. Senior 1, Senior 2, we are studying in the evening. Senior 3, Senior 4, and HSC, morning hours. So as they're leaving the classrooms,
so you used to, in other words, you used to share classes?
Yes.
Classrooms?
Senior 3, Senior 4, they could study in the morning. Then Senior 1 and Senior 2, we are joining at 1. Was it 1? Yes.
So what time were you leaving home then?
5:30.
No, I mean leaving home for school.
Around midday, because it could take us like 40-45 minutes
walking.
Could pass via Nakulabye, go Bukesa, slope down, Old Kampala. There was a market there. Could call it desert. It was called desert. Where is Seka market? It used to be called desert.
Why?
And we were selling sugar cane all over. Where there is riverside. So you could go through desert. Then we joined school.
Why was it called desert? Because these are things that are so interesting.
There was nothing like a building. Only old stalls selling sugar canes. Lorries could come and bring sugar canes to Kampala. That was the depot for sugar canes. So during lunch, even before you go, you just go there.
Desert. You pass by desert.
I'm telling you, it happened. Then you continue to school.
We need to know then how the whole idea of spare parts came into the place.
That came later. That was even after I'd finished Senior 3, Senior 4. That's when spare selling started taking up over there.
And so that's desert living. Yeah, but so Senior 4, up to Senior 4. What were you now focusing on? What was your inspiration at that point?
I told you before, we had sisters and brothers who had shaped a way, they had given us what to do. All of them, after O level, they were joining A-level. After A-level, they were joining university, all of them. We had the one sister who joined teaching after senior 4. She joined the teaching, but the rest were going to university. So like we came up knowing, after P7, senior 1. After senior 1,
I mean, you're in senior 4, and by this time, because now the things of combination and what are coming in, so what do you look up to as your career in future at that level?
by then, we had no idea. To be sincere with you, we had
As
no
long as you
idea.
go through A level and
All what we wanted, just to perform well and pass. After getting the results, then you can tell. They can tell you what next, depending on the performance.
okay.
But you performed well.
So senior 4, you perform well. You go to senior 5.
Senior 5.
Which school did
we
you
had
go to?
we had a talk with our brother,
Okay.
and he told us that senior A level requires a lot of concentration and seriousness. And this business of moving up and down in the morning, then by 1 you are done, you need full-time concentration. So he had advised to go back to Mutianeses. I went back to Mutianeses, Namukozi.
So you go back to the village.
To the village. Not really in the village. Mutianeses is in the town.
True, it is. But I mean,
One of the
comparing it to
reasons,
Kampala.
Like to get concentration, full-time concentration, boarding school this time, because it was tough. And then after, I joined Makerere University Business School.
We want to get back to Namukozi. So you're concentrating. Does it mean that up to this level you really your focus is only performing well and you really have no career you're looking up to?
No. When I reached senior 5 second term, that's when I had a chat with David, that elder brother of ours. He had finished Makerere University. He did statistics, and by then he was also teaching at Mutianeses because he had not yet gotten a job. But because he was good in mathematics, he was given a chance to be teaching at Mutianeses. So we could chat, and we were looking at a lot of opportunities. But still he told me, because I'd wanted to be to that course that is related to business. I never wanted to be a teacher.
Like him. And your sister.
And my sister. Actually, David wasn't a teacher, but because he had not yet gotten a job, and he was good in mathematics, and he did it from Chibuli. So the teacher who was teaching him in Chibuli knew him, and by then he was the headmaster. So he called him to help him on A level, teaching mathematics. So he wasn't a teacher professionally. Yes.
Okay. So you didn't want to be a teacher, you didn't want like your sister and maybe other teachers with reasons, but why were you choosing business alongside the other courses that one would really think of?
Basically by then, even today, business courses, like a child or a student stands more chances of getting a job, other than comparing somebody who has done, let's say, who is like a pilot. And you have such students. They want to be a pilot, but Uganda, how many planes do you have? Chances of becoming a pilot or getting a job in that field are not that easy. So I had thought of doing a course that will help me or be easier for me after the course, at least to get a job somewhere.
Okay.
And I wanted something related to business.
Okay. So after Namukozi, you were admitted at Makerere University.
Makerere University Business School.
Business School. Now this is the return to Kampala.
No, I used to come to Kampala like during the holidays because Mom was this side.
Okay.
So like I could come to Kampala, I could go in Tiana down there over the weekend. I had a bike. I could ride it back to Bolera.
From
Namukozi.
Okay.
Over the weekend.
Okay.
Yes.
This is so
I
amazing.
could ride it and go back. Sometimes I come to Kampala over in the holidays. Yeah.
Now you're back. This is now a new life, university life. Who was going to sponsor your university education?
My mom and my brother. Actually, my mom sponsored me and David.
Okay. Now life at Mobs.
Moves wasn't that difficult. We are still coming from Kasubi, but not footing this time.
Eh.
We are boarding from Kasubi town, then Nakawa. Nakawa town to Kasubi. And the lectures were in the evening. We are studying. I was studying in the evening.
Which course were you doing?
Sorry?
Which course were you doing?
BBA.
Okay. Bachelor of Business Administration.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So
And after moves, like after like 3 months, I was lucky. I had a friend whom we were ministering with at church. It's called Andrew Samba. For him, he had joined Coca-Cola. And after we had finished, there was an opportunity. They wanted 3 salespeople. They called them senior accounting developers, account developers. They wanted 3. And by then I had no phone. He looked for me at church, could not find me. He looked for me at Kasubi. That's where he found me. Nangamba, you guys, bring your papers tomorrow. There is an interview. Reaching there, we were about 80 something. And they wanted only 3
out of the 80.
out of the 80. Now, to take you back, immediately I finished, I had a friend of mine still.
Yeah.
He had a school, a secondary school in Kawala. It was called Julius Mugisha. So we went there to do some teaching. I was teaching commerce and accounts. So that's when Andrew came to our home, he was told that I'm in Kawala. He got a border. He found me in Kawala. He told me to take the papers the following day. We reached there, it was tough. We had a written interview and orals.
Same day.
Same day. Okay. And they told us to wait. We moved around, we took sodas. Like you could take like whatever you can afford. They couldn't let you take even a liter outside the gate. They tell you drink whatever you want, whatever you can afford. So we drank sodas, waiting for the results.
So the results were going to be given instantly?
Yes, instantly.
Okay.
Around 3. They brought results back, but they were in the envelopes, sealed. They told us, we wanted only 3, but in case you've not gone through, don't lose hope. Anytime you feel an opportunity, please come and try again. Don't lose hope. We wanted only 3 and you were many. So whoever was given an envelope could not open it there and then, including me. I opened my envelope when I've reached home.
Why? Why didn't you open it?
I feared.
I thought you were excited.
No, I wasn't so sure that I'd gone through.
Okay.
I could not open it from there. I crossed the road, I got a taxi up to home. Even reaching home, I could think, neighbor, now, what is inside here? Birango, or I've gone through.
Yet you have the results on you.
I'd gone through. And another guy who went through that was Edward Mugumia, my friend. We were together at MOBS. We're in the same discussion group. They had also gone through. The third guy was Msinguzi Eric. For him, he wasn't with us. I don't know. So he went through. And we started training with the Century Bottling Company. And I worked with it. That was from 2001 up to 2006.
Now, at that level, when you leave Century Bottling Company in 2006, and the circumstances that lead to your departure is where we shall start from shortly after this commercial break. Welcome back from the commercial break. This is my story. Edrine Austin Mukalazi is my name. We are with Mr. Ssenabulya Keeya Ronald, taking us through his story. So amazing, Mr. Ssenabulya.
Yes, please.
So the journey of approximately 6 years at Century comes to what end? What circumstances force you to leave this job?
That was 2006.
Yes.
But in 2003, because I could connect still with a village, I was elected the chairperson, youth chairperson for my sub-county, Bulera, and the vice chairperson for youth, Mubende district. So I started that political life. And I loved it a lot. So come 2006, after being a chairperson for the youth, I said no. I can try this parliament. And remember, to take you back a little, by the time I was still at MOBS, I contested in the guild elections as an evening and continuing student, and I lost. So I wasn't like contented. I said no. Why don't I try this parliament? 2006, I resigned in Coca-Cola. I went back to Mityana North. You know, that is our constituency.
Yes, Mityana North.
I contested, I lost. I came back to Kampala and I started other.
Jobless.
I became jobless like for some time, like 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
And then I continued with another organization.
So, in all this journey, then how do you get so much into church?
Church, right from childhood. At home, parents, grandmom and mother were church people. Even our mother is church people. So like every Sunday we could go to Bulera, Church of Uganda.
Yeah.
That was like 2 to 3 kilometers. But we could go every Sunday. So we had that church background. Even when we came to Kampala, staying with a mom. Attending church was a must. Every Sunday. So, and I loved the music. I had that background of the music. So when I came to Kampala, my mom was attending Kasubi Church of Uganda, near the tombs.
Yes.
I was attending from St. Thomas Chiwonya. What was important, like, have you gone to church? Church of Uganda. That was another condition, not any church that you come across. So I was attending from St. Thomas Chiwonya. And by then they had a very nice choir.
St.
Led
Thomas.
by the late Mulindwa. Yes, St. Thomas has taken years with, music has been there like for so many years.
Okay.
Chiwonya. And that one alone could make me like attend Sundays every Sunday, because I loved music. And I joined that choir for like 2 years. Then in 2006, that was in March, because we had 2 services and all were in Uganda. So we started the 3rd service in Chiwonya, because given its location, Makerere University is here, and we had a church just next to the university. They had no service for English. All the students could move up to Namirembe. Then they decided to start an English service. But remember, we had only 2, and each service had a choir. So I decided, no, I can organize my friends, and we start a choir that will be ministering in this English service. Because by then that English service had daughters of the king. There were about 4 girls in that service. So we had a talk with the Reverend and said, no, if you can mobilize, we can give you that service. So I left the other choir, the Tom's choir, the main choir of the church. And we started the gospel at Crescendo.
Okay.
I had a talk with the engineer Tony Makanda. He was also in the choir, but he had given up due to some reasons. And Juliet Msenero, and then Dr. Andrew Katumba. 4 of us. I sat them down in Mbagamba, we have a problem here that we need to fix. The other 2 choirs are doing well. They have big numbers, but this choir need to be developed as well. So that's when Gospel at Crescendo choir started.
Okay.
And we started like we came from the other choir. We left everything there. Not even a hymn book, not even uniforms, not even songs that we had composed from the other side. We decided to start afresh, at least to bring harmony among the stars. Because people would like quarrel, no, where are you taking our hymn books? Now we are taking our uniforms. Now they are not going to be enough for us. So I told them, let's start, and God will provide. That's what we did.
So
Up to date.
we want to get back to the other story we paused. So after Century, you now come back after losing in the polls, 2006 polls. Now you come back and start afresh. When then do you marry?
Oh. I had a friend by then, like around 2009, and I got issues. It did not work out for us. Though we had given birth to 3 kids, it didn't work out. Then that one took me like 8 years while I was alone.
So like what are some of those major challenges that you cite out and say really because of this the parallelism
I beg
came
we
in?
leave that. I beg we leave that.
Okay, we continue. The journey of 8 years with the 3 kids.
I stayed alone like for a period of 8 years. Then recently in 2018, that's when I got my friend and we got married. Though it had some problems as well. Like the wedding was on the 21st of September. But then on the 10th of the same month, when we were left with only like about 9 days to the wedding, she got an accident and her left hand was cut off. So we went through the wedding when she's a disabled person. And I just got her from the hospital. We talked to the doctors and we told them that we cannot cancel this wedding. Just do whatever you can. And we had our wedding. And she's there at home.
Wow. So how did you meet her? And where did you meet her?
At church.
St. Thomas.
Not St. Thomas. We had gone for a ministry. That's where we met.
Okay. So.
And we dated for some time.
Okay.
Not until like each of us was like convinced that we could make her a good wife and a husband.
Okay. Well, we look out to the life you've walked and your journey from childhood. What are some of the life lessons that you have learned and would wish to send out to someone watching us?
Come again?
The life lessons you've learned. Yeah. Like lessons you look up to and say, life has really taught me this and this and this, and they would be helpful to someone watching us.
Well, one of the most important things that has really helped me, that has really shaped me, that has really shaped so many people that I've seen and admired is Christ. Walking with the Lord. You know, in life we face a lot of challenges, a lot of problems. And sometimes you happen to forget what God has done for us. You know, when you concentrate on the problems that you encounter, and you forget what God has done for you, you can get a bad experience. But whenever you have hope in God and you are thankful to Him, you think more, you concentrate more of what He has taken you through, and you forget the challenge at hand. You see, ABCD happened, but it was God. So even this one I can go through. ABCD happened, it was God. My dad passed on when I was in P2, and it was God. So even if I happen to come across any problem, I know He can take me through. Be it marriage, be it jobs, be it anything challenging. Even gospel at Crescendo wouldn't be where we are had it not been God. I'm telling you, it has been God. So, what I can say, that we should trust in God.
That is actually a very powerful message. Now we look out to you as a person when you're not in gospel elite, when you're not at work. Where do you spend your time? What are some of your hobbies?
Majorly when I'm not at work, most of the time, I have other stuff I'm doing, personal other stuff I'm doing, and the church takes my time so much. Besides being a chairperson of the Gospel at Crescendo, I'm the chairperson of Fathers Union in St. Thomas Chiunya Parish. So like I've got a lot of engagements within the church.
So most of your time is church. What message do you have to the people out there who want to minister but don't want to commit themselves to serving God like you do? Because you told us as we are starting a gospel elite that it was really commitment, because you literally started from nothing, from zero. So we have people who are like that. They want to start, but they don't want to commit themselves. How do you advise them?
Basically, the most important thing is to understand God. That it's God who is giving us everything. And that's what I always tell the Gospel at Crescendo. And we've shared these testimonies with so many people that we go to minister. Many people do wonder, how do big people, responsible people, doctors, engineers, responsible men and women, go singing in the church, which is free, not making any money like the secular musicians. How could you like give your time to just church music? But the message we are sending to them, that we knew, had it not been God, maybe we wouldn't be here. And when we do God's work, He does our work too. So we are serving Him with too much love. Because we know we can't be anything without Him. However much you pretend to be busy, if God just says, I'm not with you for just 5 minutes, you'll be no more. Even 1 minute like this, if He pretends to be busy somewhere else,
They will pretend.
I'm telling you, it happened here in COVID. You could see how people struggled with oxygen.
Yeah.
And before they had never thought of it. You breathe from Monday to Sunday, 1 year, until like 70 years. Not knowing there's somebody who concentrates on that oxygen. But when time came, people were buying cylinders of oxygen, millions of money. And you would wonder, how much money would we have paid if we are like paying since we are born? So the moment you understand the grace of God and love of God, we need to serve Him without anything like, that has kept us together, that has guided us until where we are today. Really, gospelite, so many people admire our choir and give glory back to God. It's not our own making, it's been God. We have a program and like we cannot just forget God. Monday's fellowship. We have a timetable for the entire week.
Okay.
That's why we serve wherever they invite us, we go, conventions, we go, not expecting even a coin, we just go to serve God. We just dance for him. We just do everything for him.
Wow, this is interesting. Now we cannot complete this discussion without talking about the aspect of fathers, especially the fact that you are fathers union president in St. Thomas. We realize that a church is dominated by mothers and their children, perhaps, and this is the reason as to why mothers union is actually more vibrant than fathers union, if I can put in context, but partly because fathers are somehow absent. What causes this, and how do you think this can be fixed?
Well, it is a number of factors that brings that thing to happen. One, fathers, I would not say pretend, but fathers being the head of the family, they're kind of busy. You only see them maybe on Sundays, and maybe the vibrance will be seen like on the Father's Day, Petero, as they're celebrating their day. That's when you can see those fathers union. But if not such days, they are so passive. Even when they come to church, you can hardly tell.
Yeah.
Women were just gifted because even their involvement in church activities, you can't compare it to men. Bakebezi doing ABCD. So like you would see the women on church activities more compared to men.
Sure.
I think that could be the reason.
But how can we bring the fathers to church and actively participate in church day-to-day activities?
It depends on the church administrators, our reverends, our lay readers, the church administration basically, and the church programs that are put in place. Because sometimes people do come to church depending on the activities, the program of the church. The churches that do not have any programs apart from coming on Sundays, the churches where you find activities Monday to Saturday, like the activities going on that church. So it depends greatly on the administrators of the church leaders. If they don't bring up programs that will bring these people to get involved, to be participative, they will relax and keep home. They will only come on Sundays. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, talking about music, what is that one hymn that you cherish, and when you sing it, your soul is enriched?
That is 353.
Because we are going to sing it together.
That is 363. Mukama wange kwebaza okundabirira emmere n'ebyokwambala byonna biva gy'oli. Gwe wampa bakadde bange ne baganda bange, wampa n'emikwano gyange bonna bava gy'oli. Sirina kyakusasula naye kyenkusaba, nkwagale era nkuwulire emirembe gyonna.
Wow.
I love that song.
Wow.
It emphasizes the grace of God. It is God. It is God.
And
there is nothing that we can pay back. Whatever we have, it is God.
Sure.
And the composer of that song had thought of God. It is everything, like whatever we eat, whatever we put on, our friends, whatever he created was for our own good.
Wow. So this is now closing, but we look at very many people coming up to sing, very many choirs, very many groups coming together and do this and that. And we look at your music as gospel allies. It is really unique and professional. So, if you're given any opportunity to change anything in music today, in the music industry today, what is that one thing you'd really change?
Our own music, or
Yes, our music. No, not the elite music, but I mean music as in, because you listen to a lot of music, a lot of genres, and yeah.
basically, when you listen to music, people's music,
Mm,
there are people who sing music, who compose music,
mm,
just for making money.
mm.
You listen to a song from the beginning up to the end, most of such music,
Yeah.
and happen not to find anything that challenges you.
Mm.
Nothing like a lesson that you learn from a song. There is a guy who has just launched a song. I don't even want to mention
Let us
the name
leave
of the song.
it. Let us leave
Just one word, chorus, sing again and again. Up to the end of the day, same word. You failed even to understand what does it mean. And I've seen him being interviewed by other media houses. They ask him, what is the meaning of this word? He said, you'll find it there. You just come to the show. So basically, people should try to compose music that is at least educative. Because it is one way of educating people. It is one way of passing on message to other people. So you don't just like sing, write something that has nothing. You go to the studio, somebody listens it, and like it doesn't get anything. One time, as we are finalizing,
Yes.
I met a gentleman on Kampala Ginger Road.
Yeah.
I don't remember having met him anywhere. He called me by name, Mr. Ssenabulya. I stopped and I looked at him. Nangamba, thank you so much. I was told it's you who composed Echiro Tochegulu. Nangamba, I'm sorry. I don't know even your name. Nangamba, it's true, it's me. Nangamba, that is our family song. Echiro Tochegulu. He gave me 10,000 for soda.
Those are
That
10
very
bottles.
day was very happy, very happy. He told me he's from Entebbe. Nangamba, me? I got church from Entebbe. Namate. But I like your song.
At least a chorus of the Chidoto Cheguru will wind up this show.
A chorus.
Yes.
Nyamba ntwala mukama ontuuse mu bwakabaka bwo eyo gye tuyayaanira awalibeera banunule bokka ntwala nange waakiri mbeere omukuumi w'okuwankaaki naye nga ndi mu ggulu waakiri mbeere omukwaba abalitegeka obutebe naye nga ndi mu ggulu. That's the chorus.
And that is a strong message.
Oh yeah.
A very strong message.
And it took me like 3 months to finish that song.
And that is all what we want. That is where we are heading to. We
I
all
remember
want to be
that
in
I
heaven.
composed that song, that chorus. We had gone to visit our friends, the Golden Gate Choir.
Yes.
And I was conversing with engineer Tony Makanda. We were just outside. Nimugamba na choir master. We need to go to heaven. For God's sake. We have like done everything. We have spent a lot of time. We have moved church to church. We shouldn't end here. We must go to heaven. Just conversing. The following day I'd gotten the other chorus.
we need to go to heaven. And Ekiroto Cheggulu.
Ekiroto Cheggulu.
Yeah, thank you so much. You has been watching, and let this be your take-home message. Ekiroto Cheggulu. We all want to go to heaven, and we need to go to heaven. Jonah Jal and Linda are the people I've worked with. Edrine Austin Mukalazi is my name. We meet again next time.